Well, hello and good day, people of the internet. My name is Cubie, and in today's video, we're gonna do a lot. It's a very long video, and I have to say something. The audio in this video is not great. I don't know what happened, but I unfortunately am not gonna record this video again because it took me more than 2 hours to record this. So you'll have to deal with not that amazing audio quality. But today's video is gonna be very difficult. We're gonna go up to noob nerd level max today. We're going to be going into MySQL, mselect. We're not going to be into hosting a MySQL, but it is going to be a quite difficult one. So I hope you guys can follow along. I hope you guys enjoy this video. And also, by the way, there is something amazing. You can now join this server. If you go to your SAMP, I can only run SAMP once. That's fine. Let me just, there. I can only run SAMP once. I thought I already closed it. There we go. There we go. Can only run SAMP once. This server is hosted now. If you want to see what I did on this server, you can check it out yourself now. The IP will be in the description of the video, and it is also here on your screen. For now, though, that is it. You can join the server. There's not a lot to do, but whatever. Enjoy the video. It's gonna be a long one, so be warned. Audio quality not the best, but enjoy. I'll see you guys. Bye.
Disclaimer, I am not a professional scripter. I could be doing things wrong. If you see me doing something wrong, please let me know in the comments below. I do this because I think it's fun. Thank you.
Okay, first things first. I gotta admit something, because I don't use a locally hosted system anymore for my server. Right now I use a VPS. This you can also do. This does cost money, and I'm not gonna explain how to make a VPS because I personally let people make my VPS because I do not quite know how to do that. Just for you guys, in this video I'm gonna be continuing on the local server, but in the future I might switch over to the VPS one. The reason for that is because we are going to be hosting a MySQL and then specifically a PHP MyAdmin for our registration system. There is different ways of keeping your users' data in SAMP, such as YSI and SQLite. I personally prefer MySQL. I'll show you how that works in a minute. Do not think I am a master in MySQL, because frankly I am not. I know the basics of MySQL, and I'm going to show you how to make a simple registration system, and we're just going to keep it at that. We're just going to save the data of our users, and in the future maybe save the data of other things on the server that have to be saved after closing it down. But right now we're going to be keeping it very basic on the MySQL, which is not easy, so I hope you guys can follow along with me. However, on the locally hosted server, we can make a MySQL host on the PC itself, of course. Sorry, I just lost my thinking there. There's multiple ways of doing that. You can either use XAMPP, or you can use another thing. If I can come up with a name, I can't. Don't worry about it. I don't like it. So my preference is XAMPP if you host it like this. I personally like to use a VPS, which of course does cost money, but this is a way of doing it. I'm not going to be making a tutorial on how to install all this. It's there's a couple of tutorials on the internet, and it is not that difficult. Just download the program, start running Apache and the MySQL, and just click the admin button. Then this window will appear, and this is our PHP MyAdmin, MySQL, whatever. This is a quite complicated thing if you ask me, but we're going to be keeping it very simple and lightheaded, I suppose. Before we start doing this though, we have to install a couple of plugins for our new server. We are going to be needing the MySQL plugin SAMP, which is going to be here. We're going to be downloading, frankly, we're not going to be downloading the most up-to-date one. We are going to be using 39-6. Don't shoot me on this, please, because I do know there's better versions and more updated version, but I am just familiar with R39-6 and it works for me. everything above this, I frankly do not know how to use. If you want to use this, you can just follow along with what I'm doing and then convert it to R40, because there is all kind of things here that tell you what to do. For instance, cache get field content to cache get value name. You can just replace everything here, but for my sake, we're just going to be using R39-6. We're of course running a Windows system. My VPS is frankly a Linux-based system. I might get into VPSs into the future, but for now we're just going to download the Windows version. What we want to do when we download it, we want in the Pono, of course, well, what you can do, you can just basically drag and drop this into your server folder, but we're going to put this one in. See, it's already there. In the plugins folder, we want to add the MySQL. It's also already there. This won't be on your server. This is because it is the second time I'm recording this. And in the Pono, we of course want to add in the includes a_MySQL, which is also already there. And we're going to call it at that. Another include we're going to need is mselect. This is because I hate add player select, or add player class, I mean. I showed you how to use that in another video. It's great. If you like that, please keep using that. I hate it. I really don't like it. So we're going to be using mselect. We want to add the script files folder into our server again. We removed this in the previous video, but right now we're going to be adding it again because we need it. If you don't have a script files folder, just feel free to copy paste this into in your server folder. There's two folders in there, planes and skins. You can delete the planes if you want. We're not going to be using that. We're going to just be using the skins. These are just all the SAMP skins, 0 to 299, at least all the SAMP skins till 0.3.7, I think it was. If you want to add the new ones, you just go 300, 301, 302, etc, etc. Let's just save that. I also removed, most of the time removed 0 because CJ skin. That's that. Everything is, no, actually, for not to forget about mselect, also add that, of course, into your includes folder. And it's already there because this is the second time I'm recording this. Filter scripts you can leave be. Those are just examples of how to use this. We don't need that because I am your example today. However, we are going into our, no, not that one, into our script by opening Pono. I called it Cubie.pwn. You have it named whatever. We're going to be including, where's my hashtag? Include, what was it? a_MySQL. And that is, of course, if you can't recall, I did a video on this, but that is the name of the include we just added. We also want to add the hashtag include the other include that we just downloaded, which is mselection. Make sure you capitalize everything that you need because it is cap sensitive or case sensitive. All right, the includes are there, and this is where it's gonna become a little bit difficult, I suppose, but we're just gonna be continuing. All right, first things first is we want to establish a connection with our MySQL, because our MySQL that we have running right here, of course, is not connected to our SAMP server just as is. These are two different programs, so they don't know how to talk to each other. How we do that is we're going to be establishing a connection. What you need to do for that, you need to define a couple of things. We need to define the SQL underscore host name. We have to define the SQL underscore username. This is my keyboard, by the way. It is a bit fucky. Define SQL database. Again, just use one lowercase. That is my keyboard being a mess. And we also want to define the SQL underscore password. Don't forget to add these thingies. Still don't know what they're called. Columns, I suppose, to the end, so the server actually knows what it is. I'm just gonna name it real quick just to keep my script organized. SQL my SQL connection there. That makes things clear for me. Let me also do this. And of course, add the brackets in front, or else it would not work. The SQL host name, it can either be localhost or 127.0.0.1. This is all the same for everybody if you host it locally. If you have a MySQL server that is hosted elsewhere, for instance, you bought a MySQL on the internet, in the SQL host name, you want to add the IP that you got given when making that, when buying that MySQL. However, we did not do that. As you see, our server is on the IP 127.0.0.1, which is basically the same as localhost. So we're going to be doing that. For the username, we are going to be making a... I most of the time like to make a new user account for this, just to make things simple for me. Most of the time I just call it main. The host name is, we're going to put the host name as localhost. The password, I normally just do, well, I don't do this. Play QWERTY123. Just copy and paste this into your, yeah, we know it's extremely weak. We know, but it's locally hosted and it doesn't matter because nobody's data is going to be on this MySQL, except for mine. We're just going to give it all the permissions, or privileges as it's called in MySQL. If you are keeping other people their data, please make a really strong password. My own MySQL for the server that I'm running is only accessible by my PC and my PC only. And it of course has a really strong password. So if you are hosting for a real server, make your security strong, please, because you're gonna be having people their data, and that shit is messed up. Okay, just save the user account. No, I don't want to save it to my LastPass. Thank you. As you see, it's right now here, main localhost. It has a password and it has all privileges. As username, we just use, of course, main. That's the name we just made. The SQL database we do not have yet, so we're going to be adding that. These are all databases, and for our server we of course also want a database. Let's say we want our database to be called Scripting 101, as that is the name of the series, but you can also call it SAMP server, or server, or just SAMP. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it Scripting 101. We're going to create that, and as you see, there is a couple of things right now. We have all kind of tables. We have a, what am I saying? We have a database, and within those databases, we're going to be having tables. We're going to be adding the table accounts, as we are going to be saving people their accounts in this MySQL. We're just going to be adding one table right now. And we're going to be calling that ACC underscore DBID, database ID underscore just one. We're going to make it a int, value length, let's put it at 11, no, calculation, no, attribute, no, index, no, AI, yeah, just go. Comments, these are all things that I don't have in MySQL, so I just had to figure this out. I got a bit of an outdated MySQL, don't worry. Save that. This also made it a primary, that is good. I think this, yeah, that looks similar to what I have on my cheat sheet. So let's continue. We also want to add a what are these things called? Why can I not? These are called, of course, tables, columns. Yeah, let's create another column. We call this one, well, let's call it ACC underscore name. Go. No, not what I wanted. Wrong thing. We're gonna be adding this column. Sorry. Ignore all this. Really ignore all this. My bad. Add a column here. After ACC DBID, you'll get the same screen again. We're gonna call it ACC underscore name. We're gonna be making this a varchar with a length value of, well, let's do 32. No default value or correlation. I normally I don't know why people do this. It is for a reason. But when saving names and all this stuff, people tell me put it on Latin 1 Swedish underscore CI. If you know what this means, please let me know in the comments, because I personally have no clue what it is. So we have the ACC underscore name. I'm just gonna quickly, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. No, let's add 3. Let's add 3. We're gonna be adding 3 tables. We're gonna be adding register underscore IP. We are gonna be what else are we gonna do? Register underscore date, and of course ACC underscore pass. These are all gonna be the same. Varchar. Register IP can be a value of, well, let's do 60. Register date, let's do 90, and account password, we're going to be hashing this, so 128. It's going to be all empty. Coalition, well, Latin, oh, not Latin bin, lettuce, sweet tea. I still do not know what this is. If you know, let me know in the comments. I know it works. That is what I know. Save this. And if we go into accounts and structure now, we can see that we have all this. I would like to move this one up, actually. Can I do that? I know I can do that. Can I quickly do that? No. Move columns, yes. Yes, there we go. I want it under ACC DBID. Yeah, there we go. That's better. All right. Our database is set up, which we called scripting 101. So back in the script, we go into SQL database, and we're just going to copy this name that is right here. So scripting 101. SQL password, we made it QWERTY123. Of course, this is going to be the password you have set to your script. Make this a secure one if you are hosting it for the public. If not, then don't. Compile, see if everything works fine. If yes, continue. Next up, this did not really establish the connection, because the connection to the MySQL has to be made once you launch your game mode. I'm just going to go over my cheat sheet real quick, because we are going to be adding a new line. How are we going to be establishing our connection? We first, things first, are going to be making, by the way, I forgot something. We're going to be making a new value, which we're going to be calling our connection. Boom. Has also to do with the MySQL, as you see what we're going to do right now. Because on the game mode initiation, we are going to be connecting with what the variable we just made, our connection, which equals MySQL underscore connect bracket. First things first, SQL underscore hostname. It already fills in everything for me. That's nice. SQL underscore username. SQL underscore database. And SQL underscore password. Close it. Boom. End it. Remove that underscore. Doesn't have to be there. Database. As you can see, we just made these. So what the server here does, on SQL hostname, it inputs this. On SQL username, it inputs this. On SQL database, which put 2 lowercase here. Database, it'll put in this. And on the password, it will put in QWERTY123. This is how the connection is made. Compile, see if everything works. It does. Right now, it will say that our value has never been used, our connection. That is true. Because right now we have not been using this value again. It is only there, but we have not done anything with it yet. A quick thing that is nice to do is if the MySQL doesn't connect, we'll get a message, and if it does, we'll also get a message. How we do that, we if MySQL underscore no, boom boom, equals 0. Close it, then print tf let's call it database. You can call everything within these columns thingies. You can call whatever you want, but let's call it database. Database. Connection failed to the MySQL. Close it, and then we have else print tf, and we're gonna be calling it database connection success. I'm sorry. Connection success, MySQL, whatever. People will not see this. You will only see this in your server thing. One warning is still our connection has not been made. What happens if we launch our server and for any reason the server doesn't connect to the MySQL properly, we will get a message that the connection has failed. If it did make a successful connection, we will get a message that the connection has been made. This is just for us. This is for nobody else. This is just so we can see that people that your MySQL actually connects. So let's try this real quick. Compile your script. Make sure it is the script in your game modes file and try running your server. As you see right now, file or function is not found. Yes, because I forgot to add something. We of course added a new plugin, the MySQL plugin. So what do? I told you guys how to do this in the previous video, or maybe the video before that one. Just go into the server.cfg and in your plugins add MySQL. Boom, saved, easy. Launch your server, and you see database connection successful. That's some good grammar right there, boys. But you can see the connection has been made to the MySQL, so that is good. If this says whatever you put in here, for instance, connection failed to the MySQL, you did something wrong here, mate. You did something wrong within the hostname, username, database, and password. If the connection is made, good. That was one of the most difficult things for me to figure out. So we're gonna continue from there. So we know the connection has been made now. We also, when the server exits, if we close it, we want the MySQL to close again. That's just easily done. MySQL_close our connection. Technically, you could make multiple MySQL connections on one server. I would not recommend doing that. I would not see a reason for doing that. But you can, if you want. I would personally not do that. Compile it again, and now you see the warning is gone because we actually used the variable our connection, and everything is fine and dandy. Let's just quickly restart our server so the new script is loaded, and let's just check what happens if we join our server now. I'm on Cubie 0 right now. Okay, we connect. Spoiler alert, not a lot will happen. And that is for one reason. We didn't do anything in the game mode yet. And we didn't do anything in the game mode because we only added script things. Anything we just did in the script, you won't be able to see in game. If we join, we will just join as usual, like this, with the skin selection. Spawning, it'll spawn me here. That is all nice and neat, but what we want to do is, let's log in the RCON real quick. RCON login Cubie, RCON GMX. Let's just restart the server real quick and show you what we're going to be doing. Because when we join, we get sent straight to the user selection with add player class, which like I said, do not like. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be making a thing in between this. So before you select, you have to register or log in, and then you can select your character. Why do we do this? That is because then we can save user data. We can make admins, we can set scores, we can do all that fun stuff. How are we going to be doing that? By making things very difficult for us. That is frankly how we're going to be doing that. We're going to go back into our script. And in our script, we are going to be going to our onPlayer request class, because this is something we're going to be changing up entirely. What I want to do with you guys real quick is adding a couple of stock values and adding a couple of functions. For the functions, I'm just going to be putting this into the description because frankly, I do not know what this means. But this line right here makes functions work. Don't ask me how it works, but I'll link this in the description. Just define this into your script so we can continue with what we are doing. If there's anyone that wants to explain what this actually means, feel free to in the comments. I'd appreciate it. But right now I'm going to be adding a couple of stock values and functions to our script. I'm going to be putting these in the description. I did not make these. So shout out to everybody that made these. I honestly don't know who made these. These were just on the internet and I used it. We're going to be scrolling down to our stock values because we already made a stock value once. The stock value band skins we can remove in a minute because we're not going to be using the add player class selection anymore. But the stock values we're going to be adding will be in the description. We're going to be adding the stock value return name. We're going to be adding the stock value return date. Boom. We're going to be adding the stock value. Actually, we are going to be doing that. We're going to be adding the stock value. Wait, return IP? Did I also add that? Well, if not, we're also going to be adding return IP. We're also going to be adding kick EX, and we are one of my favorite. We're going to be adding send client message EX, and we are going to be adding the stock value return vehicle name. For the return vehicle name, there's also something else you want to add, which is a static, which we're going to be adding to the top of our script. Back to the top, let's just make a new thing like statics, and let's add this. This will all be in the description. Try compiling your script. Everything should just work fine. Just copy paste what I did, and then we can just use these stock values, which I think are very useful. But of course, if you think you can do it differently, you do it your way. I'm also, like previous, I defined SCM as send client message. I'm going to do the same thing for send client message X. So SCMX is going to be send client message X. Boom, compile, and you see it works fine. We have our stock values for all this. And now we're going to be adding a way of marking our server users, our accounts as that. What am I saying? Now we're going to be adding a way for our script to recognize a online player and give him his own values. How we're going to be doing that? We are going to be making account data on our server. Let's just put it on top, and let's also call this like account data stuff. Boom. Account data stuff. Very official. What we're going to be doing, we are going to be adding a new enum or enum. I don't know. Enum. We're going to be, you can call this whatever you want. I call it p_account_data. I'm going to be adding the things that I had in the MySQL, for instance, but I'm also going to be adding things like player skins, player logged in, especially player logged in. The PDBID, we're not going to be using this. Well, we are going to be using this, but this is something we're going to be having used in the future. Let's also do ACC name. Let's make that actually a length value of 60. P_skin, we're going to be using this variable as the player skin, and we're going to be adding a bool or a bool, whatever you call it. A bool is basically true or false. let's say, for instance, P skin can be a number. This can be 12. This can be 45. This can be 67. This can be 123. This can be 1,299,000,000. It can be whatever you want. A bool can only be true and false. Yes or no. This bool we're going to be called P logged in. And we are going to be closing our enum, whatever. This we're going to be using in our new value, which I am going to call account info. It's going to be for the max players, and it's going to be using the enum p underscore account underscore data. Boom. Close it down. Call it a day. What this does, we have a new variable, account info. It is going to be made for the max players. So on the server right now we have 32 slots. So it's going to be a number from 1 till 32, or 0 till 32 actually. And the p account data is basically going to be using p dbid. So for instance, if I in the script now do something like account info player ID, oh wait, wrong bracket player ID, let's say PACC name equals Bob, then it'll set the value for me that is in game right now. I'm player ID 0. It will set account info 0, his PACC name equals Bob. This will just be in the script and not in game, of course. But like I said, today's video is not going to be an easy one. We have our account info, which is a very important one, because this is going to be the one that we're going to be using to check on the add player class, or on player request class. Because if a person is not logged into our server, we do not want him or her to be selecting a skin. So we're going to be adding if account info for the player ID p logged in equals false. So if this value is set to false, which it is on default, then we want to do something interesting. We are not going to be using all this anymore, because I'm not going to be using add player class. So you can remove this, and we're just going to start from here, because we are going to be setting the player's spawn info. If the person is logged on, not logged in, set spawn info player ID. And this is also a variable that you can just Google, set player or set spawn info samp. You can see there's all kind of things you can do. You have the player ID, the team, the skin, the position, float X, Y, Z, and the rotation. And you have 3 weapons you can choose from. If the player isn't logged in, I just want the player to be as far away as possible out of people that reach. So I'm just going to set it at 0, team 0. These coordinations I'm just going to be copying from my cheat sheet. But in reality, if you want to see where it is on the map, it is somewhere in the ocean here. I showed you in the previous video how you could make a what's it called? Where you could get coordinations with the San Andreas map editor. That's also how I got these coordinations. So yeah, that. I'm just going to be copying and pasting this from my cheat sheet. You fill this in however you want. My vision on this is put the player as far away as possible. Maybe even put him in a different virtual world, because then he won't be able to be touched or anything. And that's all good. If you log into the server though, you always have the player class selection, the arrows and the spawn button at the bottom. How can we remove that? Well, that's quite simple actually. We're going to be toggle player spectating, and we are going to be, of course, the player ID. We're going to set it to true, so the player is going to be set into spectating. And then what we are going to do is we're going to immediately set it to false again, and then the arrows will disappear, and then we're gonna be setting the player's camera on a cool position. If I show you this in game right now, it would look a bit weird, but sure, whatever. Why do I get errors? Line 103. Oh, yeah. Double bracket. Make sure you make your lines correct. P logged in is not a value. P logged in. Yes, it is. Oh. Capital. Make sure everything is case sensitive in your script. So if I put P logged in without a capital here, you also have to do it there. Compile the script and let's go into the server real quick and let's rcon gmx. What will happen now is something completely different will happen. Because if you spawn, of course, it'll put you into spectating and it'll put you out of spectating. So let's just wait for the server real quick, and then you'll see, oh, I'm in the ocean. That is odd. Why is that? This is because we set the player's spawning position to be here, and we did not toggle any spectating or set the player's camera or whatever. We just made it as is. So this all works. If the player is not logged in, it'll execute this, and you won't be given the skin selection at all. But we're going to be adding something else because, of course, you just spawning here isn't really that pretty. We, for instance, want the server to set your camera. I'm going to be doing this by making another value, which I'm going to be calling set player camera. Let me actually make this capital P, player camera. And we are going to, of course, set that to the player ID. If I want to execute this, it of course will say error. I do not know what set player camera is. Well, how do we fix that? We are going to be making a function. And go down all the way down to your script. And let's just make a new thing called functions. Boom. This is just to make things organized for yourself. You don't necessarily have to do this. It's just your own organization. We're going to be making a new function. And that function we're going to be calling set player camera. And of course player ID, close it off. And we are gonna be making our first randomized value. Randomized value are really different, really easy. You just make a new value. I'm gonna just be calling it rand, short for random. Then we're gonna be doing random 3. This will generate a number from 0 to 2. I know it's a bit odd because you would think it would generate a number from 1 to 3. No, it does not. It does from 0 to 2. If you make this 4, it would generate a number from 0 to 3. And if you make this 16, for instance, it will create a random number from 0 to 15. So just, that's a good thing to know. We're gonna making another switch like we did in the, I don't know what video, but we did this before. Oh yeah, we did it for the band skins. We're gonna be making 3 switches. We're gonna be making case 0. Let's just do this real quick. Boom. Case 1. Boom. And let's also make case 2. Boom. And yeah, that's it. Go back to where you came from. Bracket. Return 1. And bracket. Why I always make tabs in my thing is just to keep things organized. In Notepad++, for instance, if I do make a bracket like this, boom, 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 and I make a bracket within that bracket, boom, 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 you can not see that right now. But yeah, there it is. If you start typing, you see the things. Boom, boom. You see these lines, and this is really useful in Notepad++. Because if I do this again, for instance, like boom, 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 you'll also see these lines again. And then this will basically tell you in your script, like these within these brackets, this gets executed. Within these brackets, this gets executed. In Pono, unfortunately, it doesn't create the lines, but you just have to kind of imagine the lines going in between. So if these brackets... if switch starts, it does everything within these brackets. If case 0 starts, it does everything within these brackets. And if the function set player camera happens, everything within these brackets happen. A mistake that a lot of people make, especially when people start like copy pasting things from failed scripts, is like they forget about a single bracket and you will get a bunch of errors. It will be like, yo, switch, it didn't return, this didn't return, I expect this, but that didn't happen. And that is just because what happened is you did not return to the end of your function. What happened here is the function, what happened here is the function executed. It went to the switches, it went to case 1, case 2, and then in case 3, it was like, wait, I take one step back too far. And then from within those cases, I take another step back too far. So I hope I explained this in a good way. But that is just make this for your own Christ's sake. Make it look neat. Don't make your script messy. So you can of course, what was it saying? You can, wow, where has my mind gone? You can just make this not happen, okay? Yes. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, 0, Z, 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 return 1, boom, boom, boom. I didn't add anything for the case, didn't I? Oh god. Case 2, boom, there. See, now I messed it up for myself. One error expected but found switch. Yeah, no, that should all be fine. Alright, but what's gonna happen in this script? I forgot to add this. Yes, that was what happened. Compile, yes. Always make sure you close everything you just did. This is a mistake I make a lot, and it just takes time. But just close everything down with your brackets. What happens here? If we execute set player camera, like we did up here, set player camera player ID, it will execute this function. Within this function, it will generate a random number between 0 and 2. So either 0, 1, 2. And it will execute either case 1, case 0, case 1, or case 2. What I like to do is I go back to my cool thingy-majig, the SA map editor. Oh yeah, I can't do that while the game is running. That's fine. Oop. I showed you guys how to use this thing in another video. And I'm just gonna be setting like 3 cool camera angles. For instance, I want the player to look at this castle when they spawn. We're just gonna be facing our thing like this. All nice. And we're gonna be copy the camera position. I recommend opening Notepad++ just to make this easy for yourself. You'll get 2 things, set player camera position and set player look at position. Go back to your script and add, for instance, this one to case 1. Do the same thing for another camera angle. Let's say, fuck it, let's do SF bridge. I like SF bridge. Where is it? There it is. Boom. Let's also make a camera angle like this. So copy camera position, go back to Notepad, paste the thing, make it look neat, copy it again, paste it in case 2, boom, compile. Well, you don't really have to compile it, but another angle, let's say, well, we had something in LV, well, let's do something in LS. What's a cool place to look at in LS? Let us look at, I guess this looks pretty cool. There, copy camera, Notepad, just paste it, make it look neat, copy it again, back into Pano, paste it again. This is just to make things look neat and not spawn yourself into the ocean. Let's join our server real quick again, and then I'll show you what this did. The downside to this, of course, is that the player is still in the ocean, and your camera is just at a different location. So what I normally do is I set the player's world and the player's interior to another place, so people don't go out here and shoot the people that are logging in, for instance. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Let's log into the RCON again, and let's restart the server. And what it will do, it'll create a randomized camera position, basically. We set the camera to multiple positions, and that is what happened right now. As you see, it chose the castle right now. It could also choose something else. But as of now, it just sets your camera at a cool position. This doesn't mean the player can't move around. He still can move around. You can't see it on the minimap because reasons, but the player can still move around. But we're going to be using a dialogue here. So that will also solve that problem. Alright, so if the player logs in, it right now sets a random camera position. And we are no longer using the on-player class selection. This also means we can just return on-player class to 0, so it really disables it completely. That is all nice and dandy, and this is where we are going to be going into the more advanced stuff of the MySQL and all that good stuff. What we are going to be doing, we are going to be going onto the on-player connect. And we are going to be making another value, or another function, reset player, which is a thing I always like to do when a player joins, because there's going to be a lot of values going through a player ID and everything. So it's a really good thing to have this. Please follow along with this. Reset player is again going to be a function. Right now it is an unidentified symbol. That is because, of course, this is not a stock function of SAMP. This is just something we made and that we are going to be adding. It's another function. We called it reset player. Oh, forgot. There we go. Reset player. And it, of course, executes on the player ID. What this function will do, it'll make all the variables that we made. So for the player, at least for the account info, we'll just reset it back to its default thing. So player ID, and we made the P logged in, P logged in, and we will set that to false. So what this does is when the player logs in, it'll set this value, account info player ID, P logged in, to false. Let's also set the skin back to its former ID. So account info player ID, P skin also set to 0. Why do I do this? This is so if someone, for instance, if I join the server on ID 0, I leave the server and somebody else joins the server on ID 0. Everything I put on ID 0 isn't magically gone. Everything will be still there. So if ID 0, for instance, was queued up for a game mode, then if ID 0 joins again without his game mode or skin resetting, then it'll just continue on that value. Something we're going to go into the future, but just keep it as is. P logged in. I again forgot about the capital. You know what? I'm just going to be changing this real quick. Case sensitive, P logged in to P logged in with a capital Y. Yes to all. Thank you. I showed you how that worked in video 1, I believe. Alright, so if the player joins, he is reset. He is fully back to 0 everything. What we're then going to do is cheat sheet where you are. Let's just set the player camera. Let's just be safe. Make sure this actually happens. This is where we're going to be getting into the MySQL. Finally. I'm just going to call it exist check with, we're going to make a new value, by the way, 248. That's just the length. 248 will work just fine. I normally, the length of a value normally is just something I set to whatever I think is good. For instance, a name is normally not too long, so I set 30. But for instance, someone's life story can be very long, so I set that to 260. It's just It just like estimate what you think it is gonna be. Now we want to format our MySQL. We execute this by doing MySQL underscore format, and we want to format on the value we made, our connection, that is. We want to make the format the size of the value we just made. So exist check. Close it down again. We want, this is where things are going to get interesting, and we're going to go back to the MySQL, or the PHP MyAdmin. There we go, on our local host. This is where things get interesting, because what we want to do is, what this line does, it basically tells your script, your game, to go over to this, to the MySQL. So what do we want to do? We want to select anything. Let's anything is marked as star, so it'll select anything from this this database, which we want to add here. We want to select anything from the table accounts, so accounts, where, yeah, the things are gonna get a little bit more interesting here, where the ACC underscore name equals where is it percentage E, close it down, thingy, and here we're gonna add the stock value that we made, return name of the player ID, boom boom, close it down. All right, let's go over this real quick. What happened here is we made a connection to our MySQL by making the format. It is the size of the exist check, and it'll select anything from accounts, so from this table and this structure, where the account name, so account name equals return name, which, if in my case I am logged into SAMP with the name Cubie, where the account name equals Cubie. This is so the server can actually recognize what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be executing a query now. MySQL underscore T query of our connection again. Our connection. Wait, I forgot something. Wait, whoops. We have to add exist check, and then the size of exist check. Yes. Let's backtrack real quick. We want to make a connection on exist check, the size of exist check. So make sure you add this line as well. My bad. We also want to do it here, exist check. This is an easy copy paste. Then we want to make a new function for ourselves. Let's call it log player in, and let's close that. Boom, boom. We want to take one value with us, which is an integer, which is the player ID. Only value we want to be taking with us. You can take all kind of values with you. If we, for instance, add another y, we can add another value. Like, for instance, I don't know. If you make a new value, let's say we made a value called Bob here. Then you can also, if you assign that value to anything, you can also take that value with you to the connection. But there we go. A shit ton of errors. So let's see what I did wrong. Which line? 221. MySQL connection, our connection, log player in. Oh wait, yep, I forgot to remove that one. Nope. Okay, maybe not. Let me just, oh yes, I see, forgot this one. Boom. There we go. This should compile just fine. And now we can make our new function. Well, I'll go back to my little cheat sheet again. It's a good thing I have a cheat sheet, because these videos are already a mess. But they would be more of a mess if I did not have my cheat sheet. All right, we have our log player in function, which we are going to be making all the way down here. Let's make the function, boom, log player in, player ID, boom, 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 boom. Cool. We made a new value all the way. No, we did not. I am doing something wrong. Yes. That's step 2. Step 1. We're going to be making 2 new values. Let's call it rows and fields. Boom. Because we want to check if that name actually exists in the MySQL. We're going to be getting the cache underscore get data from the rows fields from our connection. Boom. And this is where we check if me as a player actually exists. So let's exclamation mark rows and boom. What this will do, if the line on top, the MySQL thing gets executed all the way up here, when the player connects, it'll go through. It will go through with the name Cubie, and it'll take my player ID. Then it'll check, does Cubie in any way exist in our database? So what it does, it goes to our MySQL, and within the database, it'll go, is there anyone with the name Cubie in here? If no, then we execute this. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. When the player logs in, there's gonna be no. I'm skipping things again. Yes. Okay, I'm back on track. The player isn't registered, so what do? We send him a quick message, scmex, player ID. Let's do color underscore yellow. Let's do the user. S you're connected with is not registered on this server. Boom. Oh, by the way, I forgot to explain, but if I do something like %s or %i, whatever, that means that this will fill in whatever I add to the end here. So for this instance, I'm gonna be returning the name player ID. So what this will do in the script, it'll say, okay, at the percentage s, I return the player name. So it'll say the user name. For my instance, it will say Cubie. The user Cubie you're connected with is not registered on this server. And let's send another message, scmex to the player ID color underscore yellow. Please register in order to continue. Close it. Yes. Let's just close this down. Boom. Return 1. Always return your functions, people. And close it down. Let's see if it works. 1 error. That's fine. Field and fields. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Field needs to be fields. Boom. It compiles. Okay. Let's go in game real quick. RSO and GMX. And if I now log in, and the server will see, no, I don't know a Cubie on the server. It should be giving me 2 messages. This player is not registered on the server. Please register in order to continue. It did not. Okay, it did not. That is fine. Let us then go into our server log real quick. Is there any MySQL log? There is. If you do something wrong, there will be a MySQL log. Let's see. The MySQL error again. Unknown column Cubie in where clause select star from accounts where ACC name equals Cubie. Yeah. Let me just try this real quick. Boom. Oh. Ho. Boom. Boom. And let us R2 and GMX again. I'm hungry. There we go. Okay. Yeah. How do I explain this? From time to time, I personally, like I said, I'm not an expert on MySQL at all. From time to time, it'll ask you to add these dumb things to the percentage %e, and sometimes it doesn't. Please don't ask me why it does that. I really don't know. But just if you get this error, just add the comma thingies. A strap, whatever they are called, to your script, and everything will fine. You see, it checked the MySQL, and it told me the user Cubie you're connected with is not registered on the server. Please register in order to continue. Of course, we cannot register because we did not continue on what happens next. But we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we are getting there. What do we also want to happen here? We want to show someone a dialogue. Let's say, yeah, no, this is fine. Let's, no, actually, this happens. The message gets sent, and now we want to show the player, show player dialogue. We want the player ID to show the dialogue, and we're gonna call it dialogue_register. Dialogues, you always have to define. So let's go up to the top of our script. And let's make a new thing called dialogues. Boom. And let's hashtag define dialogue_register. Register. Let's add a ID to it. Let's do, now let's do 0. And while we're at it, let's also define dialogue_login. 1. Boom. Go down back to our script, to our function, dialogue_register. We are going to be making this a dialogue style. I'll show you this real quick on the interwebs. Dialogue styles SAMP. Dialogue styles, your different kind of dialogue. Your dialogue style message box, input, list, and password. We're of course going to be using the password one because people are going to be registering with a password, so might as well use a password. You can also use the input one. For some reason, there are servers out there that do this, which I think is really stupid, because in dialogue style, password is the same as input, but instead of showing what you're typing in, it'll just put these star thingies there, which is of course more secure. We're going to be wanting to add a message. So we're going to be using a caption. Let's call it welcome to Cubie's adventure. Whatever. Boom, boom, boom. Of course, if you don't know how this function works, it is a SAMP function. So what we do is we just go SAMP dialogues. And then there will be a wiki page on the dialogue ID, dialogue style, caption, info, button 1, button 2. Fairly easy. So we have the caption, that's the thing on top of the dialogue, and then we want to have a message in the dialogue. Let's call the message, or let's let the message say, welcome to Cubie's scripting adventure. Let us, I'm looking at my cheat sheet real quick. I'm not that original. Yeah. Welcome to, yes. Welcome to Cubie scripting adventure. We do a /n. This basically makes a new line. Welcome to Cubie scripting adventure. Now you will be able, no wait. Please enter a password below. That should do just fine. Yeah. Let's actually please enter a password below. Boom, boom. Let's add 2 and so it'll put 2 empty spaces at the bottom. There's 2 buttons, of course, if you register. We have, let's call the first one register, and let's call the second one cancel. Boom, boom, boom. That should work just fine. And now we're gonna go into something new, which is a value in the server, which I have to find on player dialogue response. We need. This has been a long video, so I'm getting a bit fucky, so please don't mind. We are going to be making for the dialogue a new switch. We're just gonna call it the dialogue ID. For the switch, we're just gonna be executing the a new case, which in our case is the dialogue underscore register. Boom. Which will tell our server there. Close it off, fine. Okay, so what will happen now? We have the on-dialog response and the dialog register. What happens if we log in and we need to register and we are not in our database? It'll show us this dialog, and if we do anything in that dialog, it'll continue us here on the dialog response. Let's say if response, if there's no response given, then we are just gonna we're just gonna, we're gonna keep it simple. If no respond, then return kick player ID. Easy. Boom. If you don't respond, you're out. Yeah, that would just work fine. Else, for instance, let's say we're gonna make an insert. No, are we gonna make an insert? Yes, we are gonna making an insert. Yes. 2, 5, 6. I'm just copying things from my main script right now. I hope you don't mind. Make a new value called insert. You can call it whatever you want, but whatever. And we are going to be using our first strlen. strlen. I think it is. What this does, it basically lets you play around with the input text or any other value. Right now we're going to be using the value input text. If input text equals bigger than 128, or the input text strlen input text equals smaller than 3, then we are going to show this dialog again. So return show player dialog, player ID dialog underscore register, dialog underscore style underscore password, and then we're just going to be doing the same thing again. So we're just going to be copying this one, copy, and where is it? Dialog, there it is, dialog, boom. And let's just add a thing, please enter a better password -n. Yeah, we're gonna be doing that, and then I'm hungry. Then we're gonna be continuing on a new MySQL format, because if someone registers, of course, we want the registration to enter into our MySQL database. So for instance, if Cubie registers, we want, of course, Cubie added to our database. How are we going to do that? MySQL underscore format, our connection, insert the size of, this is why you made the insert, where you're gonna insert into, important, this is different from select from. We are actually putting something in the MySQL. We're not selecting anything from the MySQL. Insert into accounts. We're going to be inserting into the ACC underscore name, which was, of course, this one, ACC underscore name. We're going to be inputting something into the ACC underscore name. We're going to be inserting something in the ACC underscore pass. We're going to be inserting something in the register underscore date. And we're going to be inserting something in the register underscore IP. This is where things can get a little difficult to track, because this is frankly just not that overseeable, I suppose, because right now we're going to be adding the values, and as the values we're going to be using these. Let's add these things again, because last time we saw everything broke if we didn't. At E, this first value we have is the ACC name. Yeah, you're still with me? The second value is gonna, of course, be percentage E. Oh, put the wrong one there. Percentage E, boom, is gonna be the ACC pass. Oh, wait, important, very important. How do I forget? This is very important. Please, I'm gonna put a link for a video in the description, and I'm gonna put it on the screen. Please, for the love of God, watch this video, because saving people their passwords is a huge, huge responsibility. If I would save it as this right now, the player that joins the server, their password will be put straight into the MySQL as it is. So for instance, if I would register under the password QWERTY123, then it'll show in the MySQL just as nothing under ACC name QWERTY123. This is extremely dangerous. If you are keeping people their passwords, be safe with it. I also recommend everybody that plays SAMP, never, ever, 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 ever use a password that you use on your bank account or anything on a SAMP server. Please do not do that. We are going to be hashing our password with the SHA-1 hashing, because that is built in. But this is very easily crackable. If I just Google real quick SHA-1 decrypt, I get on a random website, and let me just go into an account of me on my own little server, and let's input, like, if we hash the thing, we get a code like this. This is the hashing we'll get of someone's password. Now, if I decrypt this password, it'll just say, boom, found. This equals QWERTY123. So safe it is not. I mean, it is safe in a way. Yes, that is very true. Because if I just put in a password like, let's say, Jimmy Bob 123454, and I encrypt this to SHA-1, I get a code, and if I try to decrypt this, then okay, it was, let's just make it difficult on ourselves real quick. Boom, let's decrypt this. Yeah. There we go. It'll say a password like this, for instance, they don't know how to decipher. It's a very difficult password. There is passwords out there that you cannot decipher with a simple SHA-1 decrypting on the internet. But like I say, we are gonna hash our passwords. Watch this video. Watch it. Please watch it. And then think about hashing and all that good stuff. Okay, sorry. That was my quick warning on everything. We're gonna be adding another one. Oh, I'm caps, percentage E, boom. This is gonna be the register date, and then for last but not least, another percentage E. Percentage E is gonna be, of course, the register IP. Close it down, bracket it off, and let's add the things. So the first one is gonna be the name. So return name player ID. Boom. Second one is gonna be the input text. The input text is a standard value on the on-player dialog response. The input text, of course, is the text that you inputted into the dialog. My bad. Register date. We added all these stock values earlier today, so if you copy pasted that with me, you are you have all these stock values, return IP of the player ID. If you don't have these stock values, they are in the description. Boom, boom, boom. Close that. And then we are going to go on to a new query for the MySQL. MySQL underscore T query. I haven't connection insert. No, not. And then on player register. This is where the magic is going to start happening, by the way. We are, of course, going to take the player ID with us again. So player ID. I'm going to try compiling this script and see how many errors we get. 5. That's not too bad. On dialog register 291. Yes, that is true because I saw there is a typo. Dialog register. Yeah. Somewhere there is register. Yes. I saw I had a typo there. Error. Dialog register. No, that is. Oh, dialog. Dialog. There you go. Still errors though. Dialog. Jesus. Dialog. Yes, dialog register. Then we have line 23. 23 dialog login. Keyboard did this thing again. This is how you clean up a script if you get a lot of errors. 23 dialog login. Yes, never used, I know. Oh wait, and define. This is if you want to work fast and it doesn't work. 291. Line 291. You can also press Ctrl G, by the way, and just type 291. But 291 dialog case dialog register. Yeah, there should not be. They should not be there. Unidentified symbol response at 293. If response. Why did I type that with a C? It's because I'm an idiot. That's why. Boom. All right. This all works fine. So we're going to be going on to our new function on player register. Oh, this is going to be such a long video. All right. The on player register is not that difficult. We're just going to be making the function. Function. No, function. Boom. On player register player ID. Boom. This is where we are going to be using our values that we made. Account info. This is all going to be for in the future. This is not necessarily a thing you have to do. I would recommend it because it is going to be useful in the future if you make multiple databases for things. Cache underscore insert underscore ID. Boom. What happens here, we made a value like a long time ago because this video is very long. Up here, PDBID. So for the account info player ID, PDBID. That is the database ID in our MySQL. So if, for instance, if I make new tables later on, I can check people their database ID, and if the database ID is the same in another database, then I can continue from there. It's something that we're going to be using in the future, but I do recommend adding this just for ease in the future. We are also going to be making the player's name registered as the player's name real quick. So let's format account info for the player ID PACC name. Let's make it a length of 32. We're gonna make it %s comma, and then return name player ID. Boom. This is where we are going to be changing everything up on the server, because right now the player is going to be logged in. So account info player ID p logged in is now gonna be true. Why is this gonna be true now? Well, the player has registered and everything has been done. So he is registered and logged in. So we're gonna be setting the value to true. So if the player then gets sent back to the onPlayer request class for any reason, it'll say no, he is logged in. So we're just not gonna do anything. We're not gonna be executing this. We are gonna be executing nothing because he's already here. This is where we're going to be using mselect instead of the class selection, because I frankly hate class selection, like I said. Let's go into mselect real quick, because mselect is cool. It's a bit outdated, but I still like it. We added the include mselect, and we don't have to add anything else for that except for some new variables. Let's make this the register / login stuff. We're going to be making a new join skin equals ms underscore invalid underscore list ID. Close it down. Yeah, that's right. No. Yeah, that's right. Boom. New value on the game mode initiation. So, which is when you launch the server, we are going to be adding the addition of the list we made in our script files. So the skins.txt. How are we going to do that? We're going to be using the new value we made. So join skin equals load model selection for skins.txt. This is so the server knows when it launches, it loads everything within this txt file, so number 1 till 302. Let's compile this real quick. No, I did something wrong. Line 95. Join skin. And I didn't load model selection. Load model. Oh, wait. Load model selection menu. Boom. Still 2 errors. 543. 543 account info equals player ID cache insert ID. Yeah, it did the double thing again. I need to get a new keyboard. It's really bugging me. 544 is also something wrong. I think I just forgot to add a bracket there. Yes, and then one warning. Join skin is never used. Yep, that is good. So what happens now, like I said, mselect is now in the server. So let's go back to our on player register. Let me just go back to my little cheat sheet there. And now we're going to be executing our model selection. So show model selection menu to the player ID. And which one? Well, of course, the join skin, the one we just made. And we are gonna name it pick a skin. Boom. Pick a skin. From here, it's basically quite similar to on dialog response, because this mselect also comes with a new public value, which is, let me copy and paste it real quick from the, no, let me not copy and paste it, I'll type it out. There. It comes with a new public, which is called on player model selection. This comes with the player ID, response, list ID, and the model ID. Boom. This is the new public, return 1. Let's see if I did that correctly by just... No, I did not. Function is not a prototype. You know what? I'm just copy pasting it. It looks something similar like this. There is the... boom. There is, of course, the wiki page that has all this inside of it. If list ID equals the list we just made. So join skin. Then we are gonna be saying if this is where it is really similar to what's it called, on dialog response that we have up here. So if he she doesn't show a skin, then we're just gonna be showing the same list again, so people cannot exit that screen. Show model selection menu. We are going to show to the player ID, of course. We are showing join skin, and we are naming it again, pick a skin. Boom. If however the player does pick a skin, then the player has successfully picked the skin, he has logged in, and that is where we can continue. The camera is still set at the random camera position that we assigned the player to in the beginning. So we're gonna set camera behind player again. Player ID. Boom. We are gonna set the player skin. Set the player skin as the selected skin he picked. So player ID and then the model ID, which is this variable or this function, this execution of this variable. So the player will actually get the skin he or she just selected. Account info, we're just gonna save the player ID skin again. So when the player dies, he will respawn with the same skin. Player ID p skin equals model ID. So for instance, if I pick the CJ skin, it'll set my value account info player ID p skin as 0. Now we're going to be setting our spawn info on a different location. You can choose this location whatever you want. At the beginning of this video, I showed you how to make a set spawn info thing, I believe. Yeah, I did show you how to make that thing. We're just going to set a spawn info and we're going to spawn a player. We're not going to spawn a player, we're going to spawn the player. Boom. This is... Ooh. What happened? Oh, wait. Yep. Don't forget about your brackets, kids. Boom. And then we still have one error, which is response, which I again fucking typed with a C. Where did I do that? 323. If response. With an S, you dumb Cubie. Boom. Compile. Now a lot will have changed in our script. This was a bit of a long haul that we had to do, but if we now join the script or join the server, we will probably be prompted with a dialog screen, which is a dialog login thing. Boom! It shows, welcome to Cubie Adventure, welcome to Cubie Scripting Adventure, please enter a password below. We did make the thing that if your password is below whatever, it try to register, it tells you please enter a better password. Let's just make it QWERTY123, register, and it didn't quite do a thing yet. Let's go back into the MySQL log, because probably something happened. Here you see the SHA-1 thing. What happened? Values Q at line 1, insert into account ACC name. Check manual for you have not entered a... Okay. Let me just figure this out real quick. I'll be right back with you guys. I see. I again inserts into. Lose identification. Yeah, that's whatever. Boom. Lose identification gone. Yeah, make sure you type things correctly. That just saves a lot of time. Let's hope it works now. RCO and GMX. If it doesn't work, then well, shit on the bed. But let's just see what happens. QWERTY123. It works! As you log in, you get the skin selection. This is the M-select that we had. I just like this. I know some people think it is outdated and everything, but it's so much faster than selecting skins from whatever else, and it is so much better in my opinion. Let's just spawn as this guy, and it'll spawn us at our location. Now, that works. We have a registration system. However, if we go into the MySQL now, there should be a new account. There it is. With the account name as Cubie, the password as the hash I showed you guys, which you can very easily decipher. So please do not use any safe password on whatever. The register IP, of course, is 127.0.0.1 because I'm co-hosting is everything. So it sees me as my local IP. And the register date is May 9th, 2018, 11:18 a.m. The database ID I got is 1. And that all worked fine. However, if I restart the server now or re-log into my server, there will be an issue. Because as I showed you guys, I am now on the server, but I do exist in the MySQL. And I have not told my script yet what to do if I exist. It is easily fixable because if we go back to the log player in function, which gets triggered when a player connects. It checks if you exist, and if you don't exist, it'll execute what is here. But if you do exist, then it'll execute something else. Which we are gonna go and continue to make. You exist, so let's say it'll SCM UA message player ID, send client message, player ID, color yellow. Let's make a message. The account you logged in with is already registered on this server. Close it down. Boom. And we're gonna then return. No, actually, we don't have to do that. We're gonna show player dialog. Player ID dialog login, because we also defined this one. Also a dialog style password. Let's let it say, well, of course, welcome to Cubie's adventure. Welcome, this player is registered. Please enter your password below. You can, of course, put here whatever you want it to be. That is all up to you. And then we are gonna be doing login and cancel as the buttons. Compile everything, see if everything works. No, of course not, because I guess I'm just a fucking idiot. 555, what is wrong? String end. Player ID, dialog login, dialog stop password. Welcome to Cubie emergency roleplay. Welcome, this player is registered. Please enter your register below. Login, cancel. There we go. Okay, back to the dialog selection then, or response, because we're going to be making a new case dialog underscore login, the one we just made. We're going to be doing the same thing again. If no response is given, then return kick player ID. But we're also going to be adding another thing, which I like to do, which is, if I just go to my cheat sheet real quick. Let me just read this real quick. Yeah, there you go. No, we're just going to continue as is. We're going to be making a new value, continue check. I called it continue check to 11, whatever. Boom. Another MySQL format, MySQL underscore format. I get that this is gonna become a bit repetitive, but continue check, size of continue check Boom. And then select ACC underscore DBID. And boom. From accounts. Oh wait, I forgot something. Select from accounts where ACC underscore name equals percentage E. Boom. And ACC underscore pass. This is where we check if the password is actually correct. If the password equals the SHA-1, boom, 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 with a limit of 1. Boom. I just typed it out real quick. That is, oh wait, I'm not done yet. Return name of the player ID there. And the input text, yes. That should be it. Okay, I just typed this out real quick without explaining much, so I'm gonna do it right now. What's gonna happen, it is gonna select the account database ID. So for my instance, that would be 1. If you register again, it would 2, 3, 4, etc, etc, etc. From the accounts table, where the name equals Cubie, so my name in game, and where the password equals what I just inputted into the password thing, with the SHA-1 decryption. Yeah. That is, and then a new query, of course, MySQL underscore format our connection continue check. Let's call it, this is going to be another function we're going to be making, so let's call it logging in. And we are, of course, as always, taking the player ID with us. Player ID, boom. 6 errors again. I'm pretty good at this. 310 case out dialog log in. Don't forget about this one. Then we 5 error 312 response again with a C. Come on, my dude. Response is with an S. But we found new. Yes, that is correct because I forgot this one. 3 errors size of. Then we have argument type mismatch. Gonna follow a case line 318. MySQL. Oh yeah. There we go. And return 1. Compile 1 error. Argument type mismatch. Our connection. Continue check. Logging in. Oh wait. This is, yeah. This is not a format. This is a T query, of course. Boom. Yes. Okay. New function. Let me get the cheat sheet real quick. Boom. 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 Function. Logging in is what we call it, right? Let's go back up. Logging in, yes, that is what we called it. For the player ID, boom, 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 return 1. Boom. On logging in, we're gonna be adding 2 things, which is yes. We're gonna be if cache underscore num underscore rows. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Checking if everything actually exists. Player login plus plus. Oh wait. Player ID plus plus. Did I actually already make this value? I don't think I did. Player login, no. Okay, let's make a new value real quick. Go all the way to the top of your script and make a new value called player login. New, well, you can call it whatever you want, but max underscore players. Boom. Close it down. Yep. Good. Go back down to your function. Okay. If I'm gonna type this out real quick, and then player login, player ID equals 3. Then we're gonna be return kick player ID. Boom. All right. What happens here? If you log in, it of course checks if everything is correct. If not, then it checks if your password is correct. If not, then it'll execute this. If your password isn't correct, it'll add a player login +1. So if it's 0, it'll go to 1. If it's 2, it'll go to 3. If it's 3, it'll go to 4. If it's 4, it'll go to 5, etc., etc. Every time you log in with an incorrect password. If it is then at 3, it'll kick you. You can add a little message to it if you want. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm just going to be showing you the basics of it. What it also does, it'll show the dialogue again. I'm just going to be copying, yes, this one. So if someone enters the wrong password, he or she actually gets returned to the login stage of it. Feel free to close that. That should work fine. One error expected token but found. Yes, I am the best scripter ever. No, that's not right. If dialogue, yes, boom, boom, boom. One error on 586. Whatever. Let's just do it like this then. I don't know what I did wrong, but I don't feel like figuring it out. So return 1. One error. But found if. What do you mean? Oh! Let me go back. This is all what I did is useless. Boom. There we go. So if the player puts in a wrong password, it'll show the dialogue again. Let's just add again a new line. Wrong password. Boom. N. So there we go. If it does work though, we can do the exact same thing as here. Because the player is logged in and it does work. So we are clear to just copy everything as it was on the player register. And we just, boom, copy and paste it. Join skin should be the same. And I think I am actually done. Let's go into the script. If I now relog, it should, if I did everything correctly, show me the login screen instead of the register screen, or instead of nothing, because I am, of course, in the MySQL database, and it does. It'll show you, welcome, this player is registered. Please enter your password below. Let's say I enter a wrong password. That didn't quite go as planned, but but that is fine. Let me actually check. Maybe it's something in the MySQL log about this. Yeah, it is. I probably just mistyped something again because I'm a fool. From accounts where ACC debit and Cubie and ACC password did bubble limit 1 and at least yeah. Oh wait, of course. Yeah, that makes total sense. Or does it? It is boom boom, and then we return show player dialog. What just happened is something awkward. What just happened is that I just told the script to if everything else but num rows. I did the same thing. How do I explain this? What this does, it basically checks if the password is anything but the real password. What I did, if it is anything, if it just is anything. Now this exclamation mark basically says if anything else but. By not doing that, it'll just have a huge open thing and it'll not know what to do. Let's just hope it works now, but if not, we'll go troubleshooting again. If this didn't work, then I'll go back with you. It's been a really long recording session, so my consciousness is not really where it used to be. Bob, no, it doesn't work. Okay. That's fine. I'll be right back with you guys. I'm gonna get a drink real quick and go eat something real quick, and then we'll continue because it's been a really long session. Be right back with you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I've had some food. I've drank something, and I found out the really easy mistake. There's a comma here. Shouldn't be there. If you follow along with me, remove the comma, compile your script, heading game, slash rcon login Cubie rcon gmx, and then you should be there. Come on, give it a go. Boom, 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 boom. If I now try to log in with a password, wrong password. If I type QWERTY123, I'm in. I can select the skin, say this one, and I am in. So there you have it. It is done. You have a registration system that works. Let's see. Let's actually try this. If I, for instance, log in with Cubie2. Let's log in with Cubie2 real quick. See what happens. This account is not registered. This Cubie you're connected with is not registered. The account you're logged in is already registered. Well, first bug found. Let's fix that in a minute. Wait, why is it prompting me to log in? Yeah, no, this is a major bug. It is prompting me to log in. That is odd. Log player in. Where are you? Log player in. Yeah, no. Kind of makes sense. I didn't return this. Return one. Boom. Let's try that again. Let's also try this. Server close connection. Okay, it works. Good. This is going to be a rough one to restart then, so let's just do it like this. SAM server. If I'm not that clear anymore, please do not blame me that much. It's almost been 1.5 hours of pure scripting and talking, but we'll get there. There we go, now it works. The user Cubie2 you're connected with is not registered in the server. Please register in order to continue. We have the option to register and continue. Let's register again with the password QWERTY123. Register. We get shown the camera. We can select a skin. Let's pick this. Is this Billy? Is this Huckleberry? No. This ain't Huckleberry. It's a good friend of Huckleberry though. We select the skin and we're in. If we quit the game again and we check our MySQL, there should now be Cubie2 is there with his IP and when he registered and everything. Let's join again. Cubie scripting adventure. Connecting. And now we can log in. If we do the wrong password, it'll prompt us, you're an idiot. If we do the correct password, QWERTY123, we can go in again. We can select the skin. Let's actually try to find Billy Huckleberry this time. Good guy, Billy Huckleberry. There he is, Billy Huckleberry. And that is it. We have a registration system. What we can do with this is really cool, because now we can actually save people their data. For instance, if you make a game mode where people get score for each thing they do, we can now save their score in the MySQL, and then once they log in, we can set their score in the game again. So they actually have their score from last time. We can save everything right now. We could also make a skin save. We could do basically anything right now, because everything on the player is now saved. The login system is there. The registration system is there. I hope you guys, actually the people that have gone through this entire video, mad props on you, because this is a long video. But I hope you learned something from it. I get it if there's going to be a lot of questions in the comments about this. Feel free to ask them, and I'll try to help you out as best as I can. Also, if you forgot about it, this server is joinable now. So if you go to this IP right here, no, not copies, server properties, 80.211.10.146.7777, of course, default GTS San Andreas multiplayer port. You can join the server and check it out yourself. However, this server I always use to try things, to work on the next video. So if you are interested in maybe seeing what will come in the next video, hit up that server and you might have a little sneak peek. If you just want to check out what I did today, you can also join that server to just check out what I did today. For now though, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you learned anything from it. If you have any criticisms on what I did today, drop them in the comments, because as I know, I am not a professional in this and I do make mistakes, and there might be things in here in this script that do not make any sense, but they do work. Please correct me in the comments and I'll be more than happy to give you a shout out in the next video. However, my name is Cubie, this is the Scripting Adventure, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.